Mistake by Dave, forgetting to plug in the machine.
Okay.
Step one, plug it in.
Well, as long as you take ownership, yeah.
But it's saying it didn't disconnect, so we're still on the same actual stream. So
Okay, that's weird. Well, yeah, we had...
Karen, it was you. As soon as you started talking in the chat, down it went. Okay, sorry about that, Karen.
Turned out we didn't have the laptop plugged in. But it's plugged in
It usually
now.
warns, right? It says you have
Yeah,
10 seconds
if it
before
did,
the
I
call
didn't...
goes off.
Well, I don't know. If I had seen that, I would have just gone, ah. So anyway, back to the nails thing. Yeah, Dave gave a good explanation. But something you get to know about Dave is that he is kind of single-minded. He's, from the time he hits the floor in the morning until he collapses at night, he's all about wood blocks and the business. So
The thing is, though, I can't decide, or I don't know myself. You can't see ourselves, and I don't know if this is. How can I explain this? They used to talk about Steve Jobs, where they think about the turtlenecks and blah 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 blah. And the point was, he didn't want to spend time on fashion. I think he said one day, "I don't want to open the closet."
I think that was Bill Gates with the blue shirt and the khakis.
I can't remember, whatever. So, and yet it becomes pretension in its own. I am the guy, like Bill and Steve became. I am the guy who is so important that we don't care about blah blah blah. And I guess I've become that sort of a kind of person. I don't know if it's a real thing. I really don't care about clothes and stuff like that. Or I've become the kind of person that's a pretension to say, I am the kind of person who doesn't care. I can't separate.
Honestly, it doesn't strike me as pretension.
But after all, it becomes a pretension because it becomes who you are. It becomes your identity. I'm the guy who has the jeans that are 6 months old, or whatever like this,
Yeah,
I can't separate the reality from the, whatever.
Well, no, pretension is more like me wearing a 30-year-old leather jacket that I wore this morning. Although I just really like the jacket. There would have been Orangina this morning, Codine, but I miscalculated my time. I got here about 5 minutes later than I wanted to. I walked in literally 2 minutes before 8.
Well, I wasn't even up and running on the Wi-Fi.
No, I walked in and Dave's like still moving around. But no, and the Famima, the Family Mart, is just around the corner back that way.
It's a loss now. We don't have a good Family Mart here.
They closed this one?
No.
Oh.
We've got three. We're in the middle of 3 Lawsons triangulated.
Uh-huh.
We're between 3 7-Elevens triangulated. The nearest Family Mart is in front of Ginza Station, Saxa Station, and another one in front of Tawaramachi
All right,
Station.
So what's the one around? Is
Lawson.
that a Lawson? Okay.
And this is to my sadness, because Family Mart has the one that has the best nice packaged sandwiches and food and stuff like that.
Okay.
We've got, we're unlucky on that.
Fly fish is what, Tennessee?
Pardon me? No?
I think
Tennessee
he's...
and Jewish, huh?
Well, obviously this is not Tennessee. It's not Kansas, Toto.
So,
it's not...
beat me to it, so
Yep.
we're not in Kansas.
Well, I just arrived last night. I got to my hotel like 6:30ish last night. Went out.
What's the trip for? You're going to grab your camera? You brought cameras this time? You're going to do a camera tour of the country? You're going out? Or are you staying in Tokyo?
I will be in Tokyo. Fly fish. I am a Tennessee guy. I flew into Tokyo last night, but I'm in Tokyo until Saturday morning when I go to Nagano. I'll be there for a couple days. From there, this is the weird one of the trip. I'm going to Joetsu, which I looked at Niigata. I looked at Niigata, and there really isn't a whole lot there, other than the Sea of Japan.
Well, it's snow country, skiing.
It is well, it would be snow country if it were not a weird winter. So I'm in Joetsu for a single full day, and then to Utsunomiya because I'm going to go to Nikko one day. And the other day I want to go to Motegi. Honda Collection Hall is at the track at the Twin Ring Motegi.
This is car racing?
No, there's no racing. It's the Honda Collection Hall. It's like a history museum of Honda.
Bikes and whatever?
Bikes, cars. The car driven by John Surtees when he won the Mexican Grand Prix in '68, the first Grand Prix race for Honda.
So this is an interest of yours.
Well, it's funny. There are certain brands, certain Japanese brands that I just have an affinity for. I've been to the Sony building before they demolished it. I'm glad I got to see it before it came down. The Seiko Museum over on the other side of the river. Have you not? Have you been there?
No.
It's really.
Yeah.
You would think, all right, it's just a bunch of watches.
You mentioned this last time.
But it's really an interesting museum. This is John Becker. Hi, Iconothorpe. Wait, Iconoctothorpe. I don't know why I contracted that, but hi.
Yeah,
what
maybe
else?
you talked about that last time. Yeah, you're into these tech companies.
There is. I went to the Nikon Museum, which is down in, I forget if it's Shinagawa or Shimbashi, but in that neighborhood. I don't have a Tennessee accent. I have a Philadelphia accent because that's where I'm originally from.
For those who don't know, John's a photographer, a professional photographer.
It's what I do. Nikon Museum was really interesting. The first thing you see when you walk in the door is this 2 meter long, 1 meter diameter ingot, they call it, of optical glass. And it's raw edges except for one flat surface that's polished. And it's hard to describe how cool it is to look at.
It's like this thing to make lenses out of, you know?
Yeah, that's the glass they use for all the optics.
Do they make their own stuff?
Oh, yeah.
I would have thought they were.
No, they have since the beginning. No, back in, they started making lenses back in like almost 100 years ago.
That's their big deal, actually.
And they actually supplied lenses for the first Canon cameras, way back. I guess that was probably pre-war. I've been to those places, and I've been driving Hondas for 30 years now. So I have some, and it's not brand affinity, it's just that they're really good cars.
The next step, Honda Executive Jet?
Well, if I play my cards right. No, the Honda Jets, they I don't know if they build them, but they sell them out of Greensboro, North Carolina, which is about like a 4 or 5 hour drive from where I am in Tennessee. But no, right now I drive an Acura, which sounds weird to people in Japan because they've never heard of Acura. That's Honda's Highline, like Infiniti is Nissan's Highline, like Lexus is Toyota's Highline. So I've been driving my current Honda for coming up on 18 years. And anyway, I like Hondas, and I've read the company history, and so now I want to go see some of the cars. And I'm a big fan of those the mid '60s Formula One cars, when it was just the kind of round fuselage, cockpit, engine, and 4 spider wheels.
Used to look like a car. Yeah.
Well, no, they didn't look like a road car or anything. They were dedicated racing cars, but they didn't have all the aero stuff on them. They were just body, engine, wheels, and that was pretty much it. So that's just when the first you see of something is the one that sticks with you, and those are the first Formula One cars I remember seeing. So let's start looking through the. Wait, let me do my best Dave Bull impression.
What?
Wrong glasses. Hang on.
It's not impressive. It's live.
Conversation.
John,
It's too much here.
Wearing out your welcome. What can I do? I was supposed to sit here carving.
No. You're doing your job. Yes. Let's see. I need to catch up with all the conversation.
Actually, I forgot to. If you're chilly, I haven't punched on the heater for the room here yet.
I'm fine. I needed to cool down from the train. Let's see. Glorified death traps. No, the Formula One cars right now are really, really safe as long as you don't drive them into track equipment that shouldn't be there, or they're much, much, much better than they were even 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Except for the fact that you're moving at 5,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, they top out right around 200 miles an hour. But there's no concrete walls exposed anymore. There's the tire walls, and there's softer barriers that they catch the car rather than stop it like they did with Senna. That's the thing that killed him. He ran into a concrete wall that should have been protected. Yeah, the cars of the 60s, yes, they were death traps. The cars were and the tracks were. You know, you go flying down, you know, whatever straightaway on the Nürburgring, and there's the road, and then there's grass for about 3 feet, and then there's trees, and nothing to keep you out of the trees. So the people who survived that, you know, people like Nicky Lauda, although he almost didn't. Jackie Stewart still around. It's amazing that any of them lived through it.
I'm going to have to sharpen here, I think.
Okay.
Lost the edge of my
Now, it's funny. Dave doesn't understand this, but everybody watching does. It's cool to see this in person. I mean, it's not like hero worship or glorification.
You know, the carving,
just,
the sharpen, what do you mean?
no, carving I've seen you do, and it,
yeah.
you know, you look at it. If you're used to seeing it on the screen with the big magnification, it's amazing that the block is this big. It's that big, literally, and.
We get this every day, you know, literally every day. People are in the shop and they come in and they stand and look at the desk and
that's it. That's that little teeny block.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, that's like going to you know, see the set where Cheers was filmed or something. You know, I remember.
No, there's that story. The Smithsonian Institution back in the late 1800s. It was 1895 or something. There was some deal between what was then called the American National Museum, the thing we now know as the Smithsonian. They had an exhibition of Japanese stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't just prints, it was Japanese Culture Society, whatever, this huge exhibition full of stuff. And as part of this, they requested some group in Japan to send over a set of the tools and equipment and background stuff that we use to make ukiyo-e prints. So the museum wanted to display 3 or 4 prints, and then in front of them, whatever, the craftsman's setup. And the people they contacted, it turned out that because it was the printing connection, they ended up contacting the guy who was the head of the Japanese mint, where they printed the money. You may know it made sense.
Okay,
high quality printing, whatever. He didn't know anything about ukiyo-e printing, but he knew people that knew people that knew people that knew. So they arranged a full set of craftsman's equipment, a carving bench, a printing bench, tools, stuff that's actually all still in the Smithsonian Museum. So they sent it over, and the guy on the other side opened it up and got it ready, and I said, oh crap, they misunderstood us. The letter goes back, said, no, we meant real tools. We didn't mean like a toy setup showing what the tools look like and stuff. We meant the real thing. This is the Smithsonian Institution. We don't want to fool around. And they wrote back and said, like that
That's
was
it.
the real
Yeah. Well, I've only been to the American History Museum once. The Smithsonian's made up, for those not in the States who know that. There are many museums that make up the Smithsonian, and one of them is the American History Museum. It's people refer to the Smithsonian as America's attic, you know, where we keep all our stuff, and none more so than the American History Museum. They just have all different kinds of things. And there's one place where they have Fonzie's leather jacket. They have Archie and Eva's armchairs from all the families sitting next to each other, things like that. And then you see, it's like, you know, I've seen that on TV for 10 years or however long, and there it is. So it's not, you know, glorification or anything like that. It's just familiarity. You know, when you've seen something your whole life and then you see it in person, and what it really looks like up close and personal, it's fascinating. And for me, for some reason, a lot of things that I have seen in pictures and online and video, you see them in person and they seem smaller than they should be. Dave is full size, and he's life size, and so is the bench. The bench looks about as big as you would expect it to be. The cones are gigantic. You can't. They're like, you know.
What?
No, I was
are they lined up today? What do
they? Are they? Let's see. They're. No, they're not lined up. Hang on.
What are you going to do? Artificially lining them up? What?
It's a mutiny. Hang on.
He's going to line it up manually. My God, the universe will implode. This is a first.
How we do?
No, sorry, too far. But we don't do this. John. Oh my God, the universe will explode or something.
We're going to get this right, man.
What have I done? At least there's no shoe lady harassment going on anymore. Go on.
All All right.
At least there's no shoe lady harassment
No,
going on.
none of
The codes
that.
won't fight back. So
That's pretty darn close. All right.
count it down. 10, 9.
Well, no, the real victory here is I did not bang my head on the shutter like that delivery guy did. That was like
it was classic.
the moment of true
classic.
comedy. And I feel sorry for the guy, but damn, that was funny.
I know. It was classic. It wasn't the delivery guy, it was the garbage guy who was trying to tell me that the tickets, we needed the tickets, tickets on our garbage.
Okay, well, they're still off. Fly says they're still off. That looks pretty darn close. All right.
I'm out of here.
They're maybe like half an inch, but I'm not going to go back out. It's cold out. 44 Torin. I see you sharpening the knives often, but never the chisels. Do they not get dulled? Of course they do. You just haven't seen them sharpened.
Because I've been using them actually so.
Well,
There's
right,
a reason for that
lately,
too.
yeah.
I know it's because of the noise. I know when it comes to the larger chisels here, the most part these are used with a hammer, of course. And we learned in early days of the stream that hammering causes huge noise, trouble with headphones, it shakes the camera. So I don't do much of that work actually on stream. So that's why you don't see me doing that. So.
But even the ones you're not using the hammer with, the flat,
yeah,
those guys.
So.
But
I
those,
never really thought about it. I don't know.
I mean, those.
This one is the critical one, of course. As soon as it starts to get not quite so sharp, I have to sharpen it right away. The other ones, they will run and run and run and run and run. You know, they're semi-slicing, semi-prime. So perhaps it's not so critical to keep a sharp edge there.
Right, and you can overcome that with a little brute force too. But
I guess I never thought about it. Maybe I'm being a bit careless. I don't know.
well, no, it's just that we haven't seen it on the stream.
But okay, remember, if any of you are around next time I'm using these when I'm doing the clearing, say something.
Yeah.
We'll
No,
because it's useful information. So.
Yeah. Let's see. Shido Hari says, so the dynamic duo has finally happened, the Dave and John show.
Dave and John. Cameron is going to get upset.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I've supplanted anyone in this cast of characters here. It's Cameron should be along in about 10 minutes.
Is it 8:30 or 8:40?
It's 8:34ish. Yeah, it is. It's one of my favorite things is when I get on the flight from the States to Tokyo. As soon as I do, I
set your watch.
I set my watch to the Tokyo time. And that makes it easier to kind of keep track. I actually slept like 5 hours on the flight, and I never sleep.
Business class, are we?
Yeah, it was business class coming over, which was really nice on Japan Airlines.
On miles or something, is it?
Yeah, I'm going back first class.
Whoa.
And those seats are, I mean, business class seats
Raise the
are.
prices on the Prince gang. We're charging.
Yeah. And I bought some of the new higher price stuff for Christmas, so. And I have a few more to buy. I'll get them later on.
Yeah, it's not the kind of stuff you've been getting, but the Shin Hunger prints now from all the spots. Yoshida has upped their price, Dohang has upped their price, and Shobido has gone to 30,000 flat across the board. And it's common sense because there's huge demand and low supply. Everything they make,
just out the door.
People against it, they're now doing like 100 and 100 at a time, and they're basically gone.
The price that, I knew forever at Watanabe was always 21,000 yen per print.
It's at least 30, maybe 32, no idea.
Yeah,
They sell everything they make, so
Yeah.
it's common sense. But I don't know myself the background. What we're doing ourselves is we have upped the prices a little bit. The postcards now, they're over there. They're all 4,000 instead of 3,000.
Right.
And we send it straight to the printers. We send it straight to the printers. In an environment like this where there's not enough printers, then it should be a supply and demand labor thing.
Yeah.
And their wages need to go up, absolutely. But I don't know what other publishers are doing because the printers, the craftsmen, they don't really understand what's going on. But the publishers know that there's huge demand, but the printers don't really know. So I'm a little bit not so sure that most publishers are actually passing on that to the printers. But not my business. Girls upstairs now are really happy we've increased them.
Yeah, well, of course they are. Tom, what time did I arrive? Yesterday at around 3 in the afternoon. And I got to the shop here about 2 minutes before 8.
I know our other guests just.
Koringami is asking for some zoom.
Oh, I zoomed out because of the shark.
Right, because of sharking, yeah. That'll work.
Yeah, the closer we get, though, the more it goes out of the frame all the time.
Did I get sleep? I slept about, I'm guessing around 5 hours on the plane, and I had been disrupting my sleep schedule for a couple days before that.
To get used to that.
Just to, I figure if I'm disrupted, it doesn't matter when I sleep. I'll fall into Japan time a little easier. It actually worked out. I managed to stay up till 9 o'clock last night, which is an hour later than I usually manage. And I slept solid until about 3 this morning, and then I just stayed in bed and dozed. And
William's coming in this morning in a minute now, and he's flown over from Britain, of course, which is a different can of worms from where you come from.
Yeah, I mean, I'm coming 14 hours ahead from East Tennessee. Right now it's
14 hours behind. Japan
is ahead of right now it's 6:37 last night in East Tennessee. I put an event on Facebook, but I don't know if anybody actually saw it.
Oh, that's the thing too. The first time you were here, you were like blogging and saying you were doing photo journey.
Well, that was that's way back in 2007. I actually built a website.
Yeah, I remember that.
The first couple times.
Nihon or something, right?
Yeah, and
now they have Insta, so
well, I don't use Instagram much at all, like hardly any. Everything's on Facebook for me. So I haven't done anything with that yet. I
you
took
brought a
some
ton of camera
pictures.
gear with you this time?
Yeah, well, I just stuck it over here behind me. I have the full armament. I was hoping for some nice snowy pictures up at Nico, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. It's just too warm and not snowy. So, a jet lag calculator. I didn't know there was such a thing. Apparently, there's a calculator you can use. I'm assuming that it helps you plan your sleep so that you can get yourself adjusted. Did I feel passing over the? Yeah, I did. International date line, we crossed over, and I felt a whole day just come out of my body.
You're jumping to the future, John.
Yeah, well, I'm jumping into the past when I go back home. If anyone hasn't seen James May in Japan yet, I've been looking for that. This is Westrill. I'm a big fan of James May. He's a funny guy and very interesting. He's one of the guys from Top Gear in Britain. And when that whole crew went away and they went to Amazon Prime, one of the things they did in addition to their follow-on to Top Gear, some of the presenters are doing other things, and one of them, James May, has an interest in Japan, so he comes over once in a while and films some stuff. So is it Our Man in Japan or something like that, the title of the show? I don't remember. But welcome back, Baron Hen. Karen says this is a fantastic zoom level, so Karen approved. It's really good and close. You can see it.
It is close, but it means it's.
Well, no, it's looking pretty focusy.
It's also if I wander.
Well, yeah, we can't have that, but none of that now.
Oh my God! I didn't wash my fingernails. There's things crawling under Dave's finger.
Well, termites because of the wood.
Still going to find the time resources to get this camera fixed up,
Well, yeah.
That would just blow the world away.
Yeah, because you just have time to burn. Yeah. You didn't see it in the camera there, but Dave's eyebrows just went up a little flicker like, yeah, I've got time to burn, right? Don't
we all?
Yeah.
Is your business going well these days? I don't know. The economy's supposed to be up. You're in real estate. You're related to real estate.
The real estate market's really good, and in some ways it's a little too good because when houses start selling, the instant they go on the market, agents
they don't need you anymore.
They don't think they do. They don't think they do.
No,
when the market is like that,
I never thought about that. You know,
Well,
I never thought about that. What John
I
does, John's a house photographer. People selling a house. John comes in and does the living room and all that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's.
I never thought. So when they're selling it too easily, they don't need the nice photographs.
Well, they don't think they do.
But the price, surely.
Well, here's the thing. We have, I forget the exact number, it's 5,000 some real estate agents in the greater Knoxville area, members of the Realtors Association. And
these are your clients.
Well, I wish they all were, but yeah, that's my market. That's my market. And there are currently like right around 5,000 active residential listings. So there's not too many listings to go around, and there's a lot of competition for them. So, you know, you don't need me to sell a house. Obviously, it's going to happen anyway. You need me to go out when you go out on your listing presentation to try to get people to sign with you. I'll have this photography for you, this high quality photography. So that's the way you win your listings.
Okay, wait. Roll this back a sec. Sure. Who is your client? The person selling the house or the real estate agent?
The real estate agent.
And they're the ones who pay you, they hire you, they pay you. So
Yes.
the person selling the house doesn't?
No.
So your costs come out of the commission?
Yes.
Rather than, okay.
Yes.
So the people themselves don't even know you, anything about you, nothing?
No, and I don't advertise to the public because that would be a really good way to make real estate agents hate me. You know, they want it to be in their hands whether they hire me or any photographer. Or, you know, they don't want the pressure from the client saying, I want professional pictures, although it's becoming the norm. And they don't want to say, you have to use John Becker, although I wish they would.
But people then selling their house privately, is there much of that? People selling it?
Yeah, for sale by owner.
I bought my house here. I bought my house without a real estate agent.
Yeah, for sale by owner does happen. It's a little bit easier. There are websites now that have all the forms you need, all the advice you need. In Tennessee, you don't need a lawyer.
Legally.
Legally, you don't. You would probably want to go to what they call a title company, that they do title searches, make sure they've got a clear title, and do the transfer legally, all that. Are all houses open spaces by now? Well, they're not just open boxes. There's Cameron. Excuse me a second.
Morning, sir.
Hi.
How are you?
Cameron, it's good to see you.
Nice to see you. Welcome back to Japan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's been like 14 months or something.
Oh, wow.
It's longer than I like, but
You're right.
yeah, we're down to, there's nothing running in the whole building.
So your
except
computer
for
lies.
this.
Okay.
In order to get this running, we shut everything else down, off, you're unplugged.
Okay.
But the good news is, last night actually, I got your system, I wired yours. You're not on Wi-Fi anymore. I ran a cable the length of the freaking building. It's all over the floor, and it's working perfect.
All right. Great.
Because of the conflict this morning, I unplugged everything else. So right now, please leave your machine alone. But hang up. William should be here in a few minutes, I think, too. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we're running. All right, back. Conversation. Sorry. Let's see.
Grab a stool, Cameron.
Yeah.
Where do you go?
Right. Bought 4 books recently regarding Japan-related items because I was out of books to read, but I need more stuff. Okay. One was a Japanese fairy tale book. One was a Japanese pop culture encyclopedia printed in 2000. One was Japanese design, art, aesthetics, and culture. The last was authentic Japanese gardens.
Huh.
Any other Japanese culture books I should look for online? Well, yeah, there are. Just like anything you can think of. Yeah, the Japanese culture, popular culture, history, everything is, it's very popular right now. I mean, the last 20 years maybe.
Yeah.
Everybody's is seeing anime and whatever else. But if you go online looking, you can find anything you need to know about Japan history, anything you're interested in.
This person was talking about actual books, and it's a downside to that. Even the books you mentioned there, pop culture in Japan in 2000 or whatever, that's ancient history. And I speak from experience here, because when I was, just before I came here, like in the
you had all those books, or you went to the library.
In the late 70s and 80s, I went to the used bookstores, bought everything I could in Japan.
Right.
And in the late 70s, and the books that were in the used bookstores were stuff written in the post-war period, late 40s, 50s. So I gleaned this, and oh my God, there's this kind. I learned all about Japan. I came here, and it was like,
it's not like that anymore at all.
Not like that at all.
Well, yeah, you're looking at 40-year-old information after the 40 years that were like the most
And now the scale of
apocalyptic.
So although I'm a book lover, I like books. I really wouldn't go to the bookstore or look for physical books. I would be online and on
Many
YouTube.
people say good morning to you.
Good morning, everyone. Here's my hand.
Yeah, why don't you lean in, because I can get in closer.
Move the camera around or whatever.
No, we're good. We can just. Let's see.
I'm not sure what William's schedule is. His flight was coming in this morning at whatever it was, 6:30 or something.
Yeah.
So.
But sometimes customs takes a long time. I know he's bringing unusual things.
Yeah, he's
for
very
normal
like
customs.
tools and wood blocks and paper
Yeah.
and stuff.
Karen mentions that she's lucky here in Austin, Texas, because we recently got a Japanese bookstore.
Oh,
That's pretty great.
yeah.
Japanese bookstore, as in like books from Japan in Japanese. I mean, what is there a big enough community there to support that?
Well,
Are there Japanese?
she'll let you know.
I mean, near where you are, there's like Japanese car factory and stuff. So Japanese.
Well, we have a Denso factory about 10 miles from where I live, but there isn't a really big Japanese community there.
It's Kinokuniya. That is a big bookstore.
Right, but English books as well. Okay. In Austin, why Austin?
Yeah. The outskirts of Chicago, near where I live, I'd occasionally go to. There's a kind of a strip mall or a group of stores that were all Japanese centered. So there were
That's pretty cool.
ramen shops and other noodles and Japanese food, but then also Japanese bookstores with Japanese language comics and other books and things,
Nice.
because there was a big enough Japanese community over there. Not in my hometown, it was a bit of a drive to get over.
What, there
but
was
it
like a
fun.
car company there with Japanese
There
execs and
must
their
have
wives?
been,
or
I'm
something,
not
or-
sure what it was, but they had lots of books in Japanese, and I'd see the price on the books say like 300 yen selling for $7 or something. Wait a second.
Well,
Hey, you have to ship them all the way
I know.
Yeah,
across.
small scale business, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have lots of books in English, but also at least 1/3 to 1/4 in Japanese. Lots of manga.
Huh.
No excuse then for.
Yeah.
Let's see. I remember Dave recommending Missioner's historical novel that included woodblock printing. Which one would that have been?
Well, he wrote a book called The Floating World, which
Oh, well,
talked about
that would be
woodblock prints in terms of historical episodes. And
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Panned by the critics, loved by people like me. I would still recommend it if you're interested in Japanese prints. Don't believe everything that's in there, but my God, it's a good fun read and it'll wake you up as far as how cool these things are. Cool. The facts are all wrong.
Yeah, well, yeah. We'll call it artistic license. Or just lack of knowledge. It could be either one. Yeah. So
How was your flight?
it was good. I had a bit of a scramble. I was supposed to be on American Airlines from Knoxville to Charlotte to Chicago to here.
Yeah.
Flight out of Knoxville, equipment problem. I was going to miss everything, and they put me on the United flight direct to Chicago.
Oh, nice.
So that was a big win.
Yeah.
And I had like an extra hour. I actually was able to go to the lounge and just chill
Chill for a little.
and get an omelet, which was really good.
Very cool.
So
So, a potential big delay turned into actually getting there faster and
Yeah.
one less flight too.
I mean, the lady behind the counter was more I mean, I knew something was going to happen, and it was going to work out, and
Yeah.
she made it happen. But I had to sit and wait for about 20 minutes because the United people were not there yet.
Oh, too early in the morning.
Yeah, my flight was supposed to leave at just after 5 in the morning,
Ooh. Yeah.
and so the American people were there before the United people.
Makes sense.
But anyway, it all worked out,
Cool.
and
And you got here.
yes, and if the same thing happens on the way home, it'll be a Japan Airlines problem.
Yeah.
I cashed in a bunch of airline miles and I'm flying first class home.
All
So I
right.
get to go to the first class lounge at Narita. And if I'm delayed, that's just more time in the lounge.
Yeah. Cool.
So can watch planes and things. Let's see. Architecture.
Talking more about books.
Japanese house.
Yeah, good. interesting you were mentioning about Japanese culture changing so much that if you looked at pop culture 2000, it would be pretty much not applicable to the Japan of today. But in the US, we have a different thing where there's so much nostalgia. If you read about pop culture in 2000, you'd read a lot about the TV show Friends or something, and that show is still popular.
Sure. Well, they certainly have played. I mean, they have reruns here. Yeah. Well, we've got reruns there. I mean, you know about it. So. Yeah, I doubt that there's a minute of any day goes by that you can't find a rerun of MASH somewhere.
Yeah.
You know.
There's a lot of.
And there are cable channels that are nothing but reruns of those favorite old series. So.
Yeah.
I guess what I was thinking of when I said that was not so much of the pop culture TV programs and stuff, because here that's fossilized too. TV is the same crap that's been going on for decades. I was just thinking about sort of social trends and the way people work and how society works and the status of women and all kind of stuff. Those have dramatically changed in the past few years. So, but I guess maybe pop culture, the TV and stuff, maybe, I don't know. I don't have a handle on that, so I can't really speak.
Yeah.
There could be the same thing. You said the same TV shows people watching over there are still, or maybe that same thing's happening here.
Dave doesn't notice that he whispers when he's carving.
Ah.
The microphone's right down my way.
Yeah, and it makes it very hard to hear you because you're not. The microphone should be right on the microscope. But anyway.
No Japanese bookstores in my area. Those are mostly in rich people cities. People cities, I think.
Bigger cities.
Yeah.
Dave talks mostly to his sea monkeys, of which there are very few.
Well, they're growing again. It's getting green again.
Well,
you can see it.
there are some, but not.
New Year's, I should have done the traditional thing, taken it over to the temple and cleaned up the water and got a new batch from the gods.
Well, either 3 drops of chlorine bleach or just fill it with vodka. They won't grow in that. No Japanese bookstores in Chattanooga. Chattanooga is a really happening little city for its size. A lot of good things going on down there that we don't have up in Knoxville. Dave is just catering to the ASMR crowd.
That's the voice.
That's right. So it's for a reason. Yeah, McKay's books, I've never set foot in McKay's books. I've been in Knoxville for 25 years and I haven't been there. Shame on me. It's a great, great store.
The ASMR thing, that's an email in my box waiting for a reply. There's a group in Stockholm, in one of the major museums there. They have, as part of their museum complex, they have a museum of contemporary architecture. And they are having an exhibition. I'm not sure this is supposed to be talking, it's okay. They're planning an exhibition at the moment, and it's going to be on ASMR, the history of it, where it first came up, where it started, blah, 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 blah. And they contacted me a few months ago saying, well, I want to be part of this. And I was like, kind of, why are you asking me about this? And they thought I was interested in it.
ASMR.
Yeah.
Because I guess they Googled about it and I came out. So whatever, I didn't really want to, we don't do this. We don't tag our videos. We just don't. It happens out there, organically.
Yeah.
We don't go after this ourselves. So he said, okay, what we've got a corner in our upcoming exhibition that's going to be devoted to what they call, and he whispered this, unintentional ASMR.
Well, okay then.
So I said, okay, we'll go for it. So they're going to use one of our videos, and they
cool.
wanted me to send over some prints, woodblock tools, all this kind of stuff to display in the exhibition.
Then they'll mail you back and say, no, not the toys. We want to see the real thing.
But we had a problem because what they want is they want to play that video of me and the carver, or Ito-san the carver.
Okay.
And they want to show in the actual exhibition the things that are in that video. As in, this is Ito-san's last block.
Oh, no.
I use these things.
Yeah, no.
Well, they're not. I don't use them. I could send that knife, and I could send that block, but it's going to be like in some exhibition showcase in air conditioning. It's going to split, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I had to tell them, I'm sorry.
The bot is not running. People typed in repair in response to a question, and it's not working.
Well, nothing I can do at the moment about that. Other than we can drop a note to Nick, because the bot doesn't run on our own server.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see.
Maybe it's tired this morning.
Yeah, someone asked if you ever make mistakes, what happens, and the answers are coming through in the absence of the bot.
Yeah.
It's mountain cherry. Okay, Karen already got to that. Japanese mountain, yes. Yamazaka, is it?
Yeah.
Yamazakura, yeah.
Did you see, John, by the way, the stuff? That's what, outside.
Yep.
Oh,
That's where you took
Logs.
our.
nice.
This is the latest tree.
Wow.
This is half of it.
Let's see. If you look right here, there's kind of a big shadow right outside the window. That's a green tarp. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
It's
that.
a tree. It's
That's-
a dead tree. We killed it.
well,
It was chopped down.
It had it
2 weeks
coming.
ago, basically. It had it coming. Had the audacity to be Yamazakura in the world.
that's
It was at
right.
the end of its life, actually. So this is cool. The interesting thing about this, though, is that
A limited
for us-
lifespan, so
No, they've got a long lifespan.
Oh, okay.
For us, we want them at the biggest breadth, at the condition where they're just about to lose it. We kill them in their prime. I mean, their trees live, and trees are born and live and die.
right.
And we get them just before the end of their lifespan.
That's not their prime. That's you save them from the end of their
Yeah, so
decline.
exactly. So this is
Okay. It's a mercy killing, is what it really is.
I guess I'll kill you.
Yeah. Yes, the pile in the alcove is it's just that green tarp. There's a tree under there.
And actually, this is actually a real problem for us right now because it's cut into 4 pieces. We've managed to wrestle it in there out of the truck. But we need to dry it. We need to get
Yeah,
it
outside's not the
upstairs
best
onto the
place.
roof and cover it up and dry it. But we can't. It's 4 pieces, and there are 4. It needs 4 people to pick up each one because they're solid. It's full of water and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So I almost said, okay, no problem. We'll leave it there till it dries, and then when it dries, it'll be lighter. We can take it upstairs. And he's talking about till next year, 1 year.
Yeah, it's a little long.
This is the front entrance of our shop.
Yeah, and-
because we can't move it.
I know it's a city, but I mean there are termites everywhere. Won't they get to that?
Well, I don't know. It's full of water right now. There's no danger.
Well,
So the plan B is, and don't laugh at this, and we can sort of wrestle it around one piece this way, one piece that way, and make a bench out of it, and it's for our
let
customers.
it
to
dry
sit-
in
let it
use,
dry.
yeah. Well,
You're
it's-
laughing, but I've done it. They're split in half rounds. So
Yeah, so you can
put
sit
back
it
in.
right.
But
Pretty
they are
cool.
staggeringly heavy. Staggeringly.
wood is really heavy. I mean, not balsa, but everything else.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, Karen's yelling for log cam. She wants a log cam.
Well, there are some pictures, like you said, or on the YouTube video, the most recent one.
I put a photograph in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You haven't Insta this yet, I guess. Have you? I don't know.
Karen says it would be more fun to see it in context. Well, right now its context is it's a pile on the ground under a tarp.
Yeah.
That's the
Blocking the entrance
context.
to the
Yeah,
shop.
that's not really. I got in the door. I didn't even notice it.
Actually, but that's not where Amisan started to put it. When he brought it, it was actually really blocking.
Oh well,
he laid
that's
them sideways.
across the. Yeah, that's.
Thanks.
We've got a suggestion. We should name it.
The tree?
The tree, the pile, the whatever.
Yamazakura.
Well, we do all know all the bits of wood that we buy and get from somewhere, even every auction bits about, get a code number so we know what we're
Yeah.
doing. And like, they're here, they're all the.
You're off camera. You need to be
I don't know which
closer
way
to the
go.
camera. There you
So
go.
every piece of wood
Yes.
we've got has been when it came and blah, 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 whatever. And look at this. Piece of wood I'm carving now. Wait a minute. 2019 November, we got this? What? Wait, how can it be dry?
Yeah.
YH is the clue. It came from a Yahoo M, I forget, was a
YMC, we just need an A
Whatever.
at the end.
So what this is a piece of wood that was, the wood tree was cut down long before I was born. This is an antique block, which we have planed off the lettering and used the inside of the wood. So, but a piece of tree we're cutting in 2019, it will not appear on this bench for
Right.
3 or 4 or 5 years at least.
Speaking of YMCA, and I'll get in trouble for this. One of the funniest things I've ever seen online. It's, just one of those pictures that people put on Facebook that are
Yeah.
funny. In a museum, there's 3 guys, and they're standing next to a painting, beautiful classic painting
Yeah.
of Christ on the cross, and it's not the standard like this. It's more him hanging on the cross
Yeah.
in kind of a Y shape. And the 3 of them are standing next to it going,
MCA.
and underneath the caption is, yes, I'm going to hell, but this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. It's like something about, yeah, it's just the funniest blasphemy you'll ever seen. it's one of those things that you just, it takes you a second to catch on. It's like, oh my God, that's funny. So sorry if that offended anyone. I didn't mean for it to, but golly, that was funny. And it's Cameron's fault because he brought it up.
Yep. There's something, that wood that you're carving right now, was that probably from Meiji era? Is it that old, or Taisho, or?
Well, the lettering on it, remember, it had a, what did it have? It had Showa in it, but that was a plug. So the original carving was at least
right.
the era before that. The original carving was at least Taisho, possibly Meisho. It could have been plugged more Meiji. So the block was carved in the Taisho era. We know that for a fact. So given that, the tree must have been, whatever, run about. So. And that's this wood right now.
Right, so that could be 200-year-old wood.
200 mean when the tree was born, you mean?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
It was planted.
Yeah,
Or
my
just-
guess is it wouldn't be that old, my guess.
Okay.
If it was a block from the Taisho, which means, say, that's 100 years ago, Taisho. So the block was, somebody was carving it 100 years ago, which means it had been seasoned for whatever, 5 years, the tree cut down, 50, 60-year lifespan of a tree, so maybe 150 years
Okay.
of a tree. Potentially older, but no reason to think so.
We do have
It's old
a,
enough for me, though. You know.
well, we have a link to the YouTube video with a timestamp, so you can see the log.
Oh, the ones outside, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes. Well. So how are things going up northwest? Your research?
Good. Have not gone, or I've gone twice total so far, and then done another trip to visit the Oguniwashi place where they're making paper. which is
Nice.
You've got tons of
Close
videos.
by, and got lots and lots of video there.
Good deal.
That's been really fun and interesting.
John's heading up there. He's going to join us.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. What for? Skiing?
No, I don't think
skiing.
anyone's skiing up there anyway. It's,
Snow's been bad.
Yeah.
Or non-existent.
yes. Yeah, I am going to Nagano from here
Okay.
on Saturday, and I had originally planned to go to Niigata, and
Yeah.
there just really isn't a whole lot going on up there. So Joetsu was not far away. It's
Yeah.
it's reasonably close, and there are a couple things there that look
Yeah.
interesting.
Cool.
And then
And you go see the castle. They kind of rebuilt one tower in Joet.
yeah, in the park. Yes, I
Yeah.
do plan to see that, and then there's the shrine that goes up in 3 stages up the mountainside.
Yeah.
I plan to take the bus to the top and walk down.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm staying in Shibuya, like 2 blocks away from Center Guy, and a friend recommended a ramen restaurant, and the directions I got on Google Maps took me straight up. There's a hill that I don't remember if it's 2 or 3 blocks off Center Guy, but there's a hill that's so steep they have cut out little circles in the pavement. And it's kind of anti-skid,
Oh.
and it was in length. It was maybe 300 meters, and I swear I went up 100 meters
Yeah.
in that space. It's just it's steep. So really climbing a hill.
Was the ramen worth it?
It was really good.
Okay.
Wait. So you came into Japan, and before you came to Mokuhankan, you went to a ramen shop.
I had to eat.
Had these.
We know where your loyalties lie. It's okay. It's okay.
Gotta eat.
I ate breakfast before I came to work.
Wait a minute. Before you came to work today, you had breakfast? You probably went to the bathroom or something as
Yeah,
well.
geez.
Might have.
I suppose you want the whole day. I've been meaning to ask, and I'm sure I missed the announcement, but which night rain image did you pick for Nekohake?
Oh, has there been no announcement post about it?
I wrote to the young lady who had the one that didn't get in.
Ah, okay.
So to make sure she knew before everybody else knew.
Got it. Haven't heard
Nice.
back.
Oh, I guess, have I not made an announcement? I didn't realize that. Okay. So we could maybe post by that today, because
Yeah.
we have some interesting color separation images from that. So we really do. I don't have them right here, right now, but just know. So yeah.
The decision has been made.
I just realized I have not been doing the command.
No, we don't do that anymore. No, it's,
Oh.
it's okay. The bot takes care of it for us.
Yep.
Except the bot isn't running.
Well,
We'll find out.
yeah, okay. I think it's all right, actually. We'll see.
Okay, I won't do anything.
Nick said
But it just took me an hour and 5 minutes to remember.
It's okay.
Well, let's see. I wonder if you could hire movers to put those logs on the roof. It would be a quick job for a 4-man crew.
Well, no, because they don't go around the stairs. It needs to go up outside, so we need a crane up to the top. So,
Yeah.
but we're thinking of Plan B. I don't know.
Plane B is the helicopter.
No, Plan B is we're going to take them out to Shinkiba and have them cut, sliced up a bit more. I don't want to get too technical. At the moment, they're a log about that far around, roughly cut in half with a chainsaw.
Okay.
And it's still too big to dry. So what we want to do is, if
Smaller
I had
pieces.
choice, I would have split the whole log in 10 centimeter slabs. That's the standard Japanese way these days for doing this.
Okay.
It's not optimal for making wood blocks, but it will dry it safely. So I think we're just going to rent a little truck, a little scooter truck, throw them in the back, take them out to Shinkiba, get them sliced into 10 centimeter slabs, which we will then be able to haul upstairs,
Yeah.
stack on stringers, and to dry properly. So
All right.
that's what we're actually going to do in a couple of weeks when we get out of this damn paperwork from this company. Don't get me started, whatever.
All right, let's not get Dave started on that. Now, Shinkiba is Tokyo. It's east of the Sumida, correct?
Yes, it's down.
Okay.
It's a lumber professional.
And that's the traditional area for.
It's the new traditional area. It used
Oh,
to be Kiba, now it's
means
Shinkiba.
new.
Well, yeah,
It's the lumber yard.
Okay,
But it's
so-
done. It's pretty much defunct and dead because most of the lumber for Japanese house construction now
It comes from overseas,
Australia,
yeah.
Canada, so.
But okay, that was the traditional
Yeah.
lumber area, and I believe there are woodblock prints depicting it.
They're the old ones, of course, which are near the Kandagawa, here in what we now call Tokyo. So Kiba was part of
Kiba.
Was that part of Edo, or was it just
It was,
outside?
of course, one.
Okay.
It was in town.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. I mean, the whole town was built of wood, and
Yes.
it was a major industry.
Well, and kind of a almost self-renewing industry.
Yeah,
The
burn it down,
flowers
build
of
it up.
Edo,
Yes,
you can
exactly.
burn it down, build it again. Or thinner, then stack them separated by sticks to dry. You don't want to go too much thinner
No,
than
no,
10
not a step
centimeters.
for
Yeah.
step. No.
They would cup
Just
and
war,
twist
yeah,
and
exactly.
To get them back down, they said just toss them off the roof and I'll catch them.
yeah.
Splat.
Not as long as they don't come straight down, they flutter down. You know.
It fluttered down.
Thunk. I haven't seen anybody ask about it, but is there a show and tell today?
I had not thought about it. No, I'm sorry. There's been very little purchasing going on. I did buy a bunch of stuff on Yahoo Auctions last week, but it's already gone straight to the flea market, just standard
Okay.
common garden stuff. I have no specific show and tell prepared. I'm sorry. I thought with 3 guests today, I thought it's
Not show and
Yeah.
going to be a.
Well, and this is what you get.
Yeah. Our last guest is
Well.
caught up in trains or flight delays or customs. There's always
Or it's too shy to show up. I don't know.
I don't know. It's I got here about 10 minutes later than I really wanted to, just because I didn't leave enough time, and it took me a few extra minutes to find my way onto the Ginza line at Shibuya Station.
Rather nice to be in the car.
But when I did find it, it looks really cool. That new.
Did you happen to get one of the new/old trains, or just a regular Ginza line?
I just had a regular Ginza line train, but one of the stations we stopped at, I could see the new old train next to us,
Okay.
which looked at everything. The Ginza line gets special treatment because it's the original subway line,
First one in Tokyo.
and first one in Tokyo, and the cars are painted a golden yellow on the outside. Even now, they always were, and they still are. There are, I don't know, is it one train or several trains that are done up?
No, the whole line is going to go that way. So
Oh, the whole line
they're
is.
bringing them in one by one.
Okay, so I'm on one of the ones. Most Tokyo subway, they look like regular subway trains. They have the chromey looking, all the railing, all the metalwork. These trains, the special trains, or I guess are going to be the regular trains. Everything's done up in stuff that
Antique
looks like,
style,
it looks like
Taishaya
brass.
style, yes.
And they've got brass sconces on the walls of the train. It's really cool. Tokyo Street View on YouTube.
Super G Games says, I spent the last 2 weeks looking for cherry wood in the US that's appropriate for block printing and finally found a place, but I want permission from Dave. Is it okay if I advertise about this company saying I found a place with cherry wood?
Talk about what you want, whether it's good or not, I don't know. The guy you should be talking to over there is John Amos, because he's a very, very competent woodblock printmaker, carver printer over there.
Yeah.
And he's using American cherry that he has sourced and dried,
And it
turned
worked.
into
And he
wood
makes
blocks,
prints.
and so everything. So he's the guy with the knowledge on the ground there.
Ah,
I know nothing about North American cherry. So John Amos, talk to John.
Yeah,
place he
not
says
me,
is
John.
McLean's. So
Oh,
a name
okay.
we know. Yeah, we like. We worked with McLean's.
The
before.
party reservation March 25th.
There's 2 more people in your party this morning. It'll be 3 altogether, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I had mentioned that I'd like to do the koi.
Yeah, it's right.
Good. Okay.
Have you been approached by Japanese companies to make special edition woodblock prints?
Yes.
Yeah. A whispered.
That was a very quiet, subdued yes.
That's all the information we have for you. No.
No, it hasn't been a big deal for us, actually. We don't have a lot of companies asking us to do that because we don't do the licensing deals.
They're limited editions.
Let's see. While
Stay away
Dave,
from birch. Birch is not your friend.
don't want to use birch. While Dave and John need glasses to read, Cameron reads from a step back. Cameron is half my age.
Third my age. Not quite, that's not true.
No, not quite, but
Younger.
I
Baby here.
I didn't used to need. 2 years ago I didn't need reading glasses, but I mean I can read it without the glasses. It's just a whole lot easier if I tilt my head up and read.
Now they're talking about woodblock Matsumura too. They do
Would like
ship.
Matsumura.
Or, sorry, yeah.
Would like Matsumura.
I guess I can't read as well as I thought I could.
He's 2 steps away. That's why.
But they do ship to the US, but blocks are expensive to ship.
Yes.
But I think he
But
set
the stuff
the
that's
shipping
in-
prices at essentially at cost, from what I've heard. It's not gouging people on prices. It's just not cheap to ship heavy pieces of wood across the ocean.
How does maple compare to Sheena? Maple wouldn't soak up the water as well, would it?
My only experience with maple is that's actually the very first block that I tried carving a million years ago was a piece of maple. It was just in the house. It was actually in a fire waiting for the firewood pile waiting to be thrown on the fire. And it was an absolute disaster, but I didn't have a clue what I was doing. It was extremely hard. It was brittle. Everything I tried to carve broke. But remember, this was my very, 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 very first attempt at this. And so for me, maple was just hard and brittle and wasn't suitable. The very next piece I tried was cherry. And even though I was still a joker at this, it went much smoother and much easier. And since then, I've had an antipathy towards maple. Thought, okay, well, whatever, that's it. That doesn't work. It's never been used here in Japan in the tradition, so it's not just me. But Aoyama-san, a couple of months ago, I guess, in a desperate attempt to try and help get some ideas in the mix here to help solve our wood problem, has got ahead. He's gone out and got some maple and prepared a couple of blocks with it. And they're upstairs right now waiting for me to try them out. And I'm like, Aoyama-san, it's just, nobody uses it. It isn't traditional, and it splits, and it's brittle and all that stuff. And he's like, shut up and try it. So he's waiting upstairs for me now. Right now. There's a wood block faced with a piece of good hard maple, waiting for me to test it out. And I'll try and be a little bit open-minded about it, but I'm pretty much sure what's going to happen is I put in, it's going to break straight away, I think.
Yeah, well, maybe, if you're working with harder wood, maybe you need a harder knife.
A different approach, yes.
Yeah.
It's not that it can't be done, it's that it's going to be a little bit different from the traditional style.
Yeah.
So we'll see. So
Well,
my own experience, as I said, my own limited experience is it was physically too hard and physically too brittle. Hard as in the wooden knife didn't want to go in, and brittle, and even once it was carved, the lines broke easily.
It was more like chipping away the wood rather than.
I guess, so.
Nice.
But again, I didn't know what I was doing, so this is not a fair test or a fair comparison. So some point in the soon,
Yeah.
quotation marks soon,
Yeah.
we will be actually testing some and trying some.
Cool.
And there's a reasonable question. Was hard maple in your memory harder than boxwood that you've also worked with?
I can't answer the question. I don't know. I've never touched boxwood. We're now talking about something that's in 1979, which means this is 41 years ago. So I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I can't. I have nothing more than a blue.
Hey, I can remember you made hot chocolate. You know, that's when I visited Dave out in Nome in 2000. Excuse me, 2007.
And muffins, probably, right? Those mixed.
No, we didn't need anything because we were going to lunch across the street at the noodle place.
Ah,
My friend showed up with a hard maple floorboard as a gift. I have yet to try it. Let's see, American black cherry seems to be more fibrous, not as nice to carve.
But again, anybody talking about wood or something like this, that wood is this. Remember, it's just any given piece of wood. For us, all the wood we've been testing for the past couple of years is Japanese mountain cherry. Officially real good. But it's mostly crap. It's good and it's bad and it's good and it's bad. So you've got to know what you're doing and have the right kind of selection, have the right kind of drying, have the right kind of grain pattern. So just trying one piece of cherry and saying, oops, no, that doesn't work, let's try something else, is not really the way to go. And that's the problem. There's so much investigation, so much testing, so many variables.
And as Dave has mentioned before, the people who were able to look at trees and say that's going to be a good one, those people are gone.
Yeah, of course. And they'll never come back. Yeah, of course. That was possible when it was a thriving industry. Hundreds of carvers, literally hundreds of carvers. That's all gone. I'm not trying to stay place. I'm just finishing up. This is the last part of the water, actually, I guess.
Wow.
What I've done is traditional carvers do not do this. Play with it like this. They will just start at the block and work their way across and blah blah blah. But Dave here wants it to look kind of cool. So we've zoned it. I've zoned out here. We've zoned out the cats. What did we start? We started this part of the river, came around the cats to the back, down one side, worked way along. I'm going to finish this. The next, I guess, I'll cut out that corner on the cartouche, finish up the corners here, and then after two cats, take a picture for Instagram, and then get busy with the cats.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
He's going to carve up cats live on the internet.
oh, someone asked a question for me. Has the new series shipped yet? Yes. We have, I think, sent out all of the first batch
yeah, we're caught up as far as I know.
Woodblock Pilgrimage.
The people that were building
Earlier
at the
this
beginning
week,
of the month,
I think,
yes,
was the last people. And then today, or yesterday, we set up the next set of subscribers. So
Subscriptions are the 200 subscribers are broken into two groups: people that we bill and ship at the first of the month, and people we bill and ship on the 15th of the month. Because it's just too much work for our staff and our crew to get it all done at the same time.
Oh yeah, Zoom again.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he zoomed out to do the overview.
There you go. What else are you going to do in Joetsu? Jumping back to a previous couple.
Well, I'm only there for a day, so
okay.
I mean 1 full day.
Okay, are you spending the night there, or there and then coming back?
I'm spending 2 nights.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'll
So you
arrive
have the
midday. I'll have, like, first day, if the weather's nice, I'll go to the park castle.
Okay.
And then the full day I want to spend, hopefully the weather will be good enough that I can go out to that temple or shrine, whichever it is on the hillside.
Cool.
So
What's the access of the new Shinkansen? Is that where you get there now?
I can
Part
get
of the way, and
the.
then you'll have to take some.
I can take the Shinkansen to Nagano, and then there's a local train that goes directly from Nagano to Joetsu. And I've got all that on my phone.
Yeah.
These are the trains that were destroyed in the typhoon.
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw Nagano underwater, all the rail yards. Just it's hard to imagine the cost of that. Just all the Shinkansen rolling stock, halfway underwater.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
I'm still a bit curious about why they can't repair those. They've trashed them.
who knows? I'm sure they recycled some of it, you know.
My guess, my uneducated guess, is it's insurance problems. I know they could be fixed, but who can be really sure it's all guaranteed for trains that are going to run at 6,000 miles an hour? You really want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and the insurance company just said, "Sorry guys, you might fix them, but we can't insure those." So,
Yeah.
so I need to go into China actually. I think I read.
Okay.
Chinese.
We'll reserve comment on that, but yeah.
You read the book or seen the movie Unbroken about?
Yes. The prisoner of war.
Prisoner of War. There's a monument at the location of the camp that he spent most of his time in Naoetsu, which is the town right next to Joetsu.
Ah.
So, if you liked that book or thought it was interesting, that might be a monument worth
I
your
didn't
time.
read it. I saw the movie
Okay.
with my dad, who's gone now. He would have been interested. No one
Okay.
else.
In
No
the
one else would know anything about it.
Got it. It was a cool little monument about, I think, set up by other survivors of that camp. Bought it and turned it into a public park, and
Wow, that's
said,
nice.
Let's make this a monument to never let this kind of thing happen again.
What was it, a prisoner of war camp?
Yeah, prisoner
Yeah.
of war camp turned into a public park.
I can only imagine the mayor showing up in his suit with a sash and all that, being a little uncomfortable with having to preside over that.
Yeah.
Oh, but, you know. My second time here in 2007, my first time in 2005, I was just in Tokyo for 2 weeks. I knew that there was plenty to keep me busy, and I was right.
Yep.
Second time, I got the rail pass and I did the grand tour.
Oh, nice.
And I had a I had a pen pal that I corresponded with all the time. And she and I traveled to Hiroshima and went to the Peace Park together. And it wasn't as uncomfortable an afternoon as it could have been, but it was still, you know, you're in a pretty special place. It's a weird feeling when you go there. It just feels different. Everything gets a little more hushed.
Yeah.
And so that was an interesting conversation, you know, with a native Japanese person. But, you know, it's a fact of life. You know, I didn't kill anybody. She didn't get killed. It's in the past, but we have to look at these things. So, but if you come to Japan and you have any time, it's worth going to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Nagasaki is a great city too. It's worth going just for its own merits. But you know, yeah, it's uncomfortable. You got to do it. You have to go. And the museum in Hiroshima is great.
Yeah.
Conversation. I did that earlier. I was kind of ragging on Dave. And just wrong glasses up. Oh, conversation. Too much. I'll get going back.
Is that impolite for me to do that? I thought I was.
No, it's not impolite. It's just I was kind of riffing on, you know.
I never know.
This is-
Sometimes I look over here and there's 3 or 4 things, so I try and catch it to try and make sure
Yeah.
I'm up on it. And then sometimes if I see it's already scrolled past,
Yeah, too much. I have to get back to. No.
Reading the screen, so I don't know what's polite and what's not polite.
I wasn't making fun of the way you handle this. I was just. This is something that everyone on the chat or on the chat recognizes.
I realize I'm a figure for parody, and I understand that's my life, so it's okay.
Yes, that's right. You're nothing but a subject for parody now. Well, that's all right. If this woodblock print doesn't work out for you, you can always do the ASMR thing. Make a career. His eyebrow just flashed up again, very quickly. There was a question about worn out blocks and what to do. What do you do with worn out blocks?
We don't have any yet, actually, in our own publications.
Momotaro.
In our own publications, we haven't worn any out because these are so strong. They will take literally tens of thousands, well, many, many thousands.
When used with care and not overused.
Yes. We have the question of worn out blocks in the print party room because those blocks are abused and beaten up and whatever, and they have physically worn out. We've used them too many times. We simply retire them, put them aside, and don't use them.
Okay, well, retired means just put it away somewhere?
Store it away, whatever. We
Oh,
haven't
okay.
actually thrown any away. The Momotaro blocks are still sitting there, but they're totally unusable. But as a side note in it, is that partway through the life of those Momotaro blocks, we recut the color blocks. The color blocks were wearing down to a stronger extent than the key block. We still had a key, So we did some more transfer sheets and cut some more color blocks. So it was a hybrid set, the original key block with newer color blocks. And by the time the color blocks had worn out for the second time, the key block now was really beyond the point of use. So we just retired the whole set.
Yeah.
We're going to face this at some point. The two most popular prints we sell in the shop are the Great Wave and the Rickshaw Cart print. And the Great Wave is now 1,700 copies. Still looks good. When it gets to 2,000, I'm going to pull the blocks back from the Autocon, and I'm going to get them under the microscope, and we'll do some really A/B testing and see how it's going, to see what's going on. And at some point, maybe it's the 2,000 line or the 3,000 or 4, we'll have to say, look, it's now visible in the print. There's some cracks and pops, and this is visible. We either keep going with it and let people know what it is, or we fix that part and this part and this part, or we put the block aside and carve a new one from scratch. Or we retire it and don't sell that print anymore. There's lots of different options. We'll face that at that time.
Welcome, Raiders. Someone brought
Yeah, we had
12
Had a nice little raid.
joining us.
There is, of course, another option these days is the mechanical carving methods, the laser and or
Right.
3D printing and or whatever.
Ah, and there's the print.
And so far to date, we've resisted this, but it is, at some point in the future, perhaps an option that McConaughey should consider, I don't know, using metal blocks or laser carved blocks, whatever. There was a video came into my email box yesterday of the Frenchman, Benoit, I forget his first name. Cameron, come on, you're younger than me, you should be able to pull it.
I don't think I saw his name.
Okay. He sent, if you whatever, get a link to it.
Yeah.
A young man in Paris, in France, who has been over here looking and working and studying in Japan, not with me here. He put a new video on Vimeo yesterday, which a filmmaker, quote, filmmaker made for him. And it's showing the process of printing on his new print about a young French boy wearing a fox mask in a French town, and et cetera, et cetera. And the video is really cool. It shows, it's about 15, 20 minutes long, showing all the steps of this guy printing. On it looks like a birch, maybe. I'm not quite sure what kind of wood it is. And Benoit Sam, he likes printing, but he doesn't like carving. So the carving is done with a laser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
It's
you
all
need
laser.
internet, you can hijack my pocket Wi-Fi.
Ah, that's okay. It's Renaud. Renard.
Yeah, fox.
Yeah, that's the guy's
Oh, what did I
name.
say?
I thought that was his name. No, you
But
said
you
just Benoit. You were wondering what his name was.
I unplugged. I unplugged that.
Ah, okay.
The Buffalo's off.
No,
I
it is.
unplugged it upstairs.
Okay, yeah, nothing's working. So.
No. The only live internet connection in this building right now, Cameron, is this one. So.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you need to,
But I just had the email, so I was
Okay.
just
Yeah.
looking for his name in the email.
So can you post the Vimeo link then into the chat here? Because it's an easy to type Vimeo link. It's the Vimeo.com
But
with a number.
it's, oh no, I was looking for Benoit Varello.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But the Vimeo link, it says it's a private video.
But the password was in the public email, the email, the publicity email.
Oh, the publicity email. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was a hey Dave,
No,
please
it
take
was,
a look
I
at
was
this
BCC.
video.
No, I was BCC.
Oh, okay. Then in that case, I don't do that. Okay.
I'm gonna switch.
Is that okay? Just for a moment, second. And then we're about to wrap up too. It's 9:30.
It's
Oh,
time.
soka. No, the video is also linked from their sale webpage,
Okay.
so it's clearly not secret. I don't know why they.
Why bother making it private?
So it's time, is it? William didn't make it. Well, he'll be here for a week, so we keep talking William. This is William Francis coming over from Britain. He'll be here for a week, the plan. He's going to be borrowing one of the printing benches upstairs and printing. He's not here to study with us. He's just here to practice and watch our printers and have them look at printing. And print, yeah. He's bringing his own paper, his own blocks, his own stuff with him. And he wants really some of our printers to try printing with his paper and gear, because he's frustrated by the bad results he's been getting, and he doesn't know if it's him or if it's the materials. So part of his reason for being here is to sort that out, whether he should just trash that stuff he's using or whether it can be done with the paper he's using. So. And I can't answer him, so we find out what happens this week.
Yeah.
So, Cameron, so what are you going to do? Sign us off? What's
I guess
happening?
so. It's
John,
9:31.
you won't be here the next time the streams are, I guess, won't you?
No,
No, I won't be here Saturday. I'll be leaving for Nagano.
No.
Have fun in the
But
mountains.
I will be back. I'll be up there for just about a week between Nagano and Joetsu and Utsunomiya.
So you're signing off then
then
for this time around?
I am for this time around. I'll be back. I'll be back the week after next.
He's doing a print party at 10 o'clock
Yes,
this morning.
I got a
the
print party,
99th time. You've done them all.
I have done them all.
You've done like the cat bus. You've done the Momotaro.
Cat bus.
Oh,
I've never done the cat bus. I did not know about the cat bus.
There is no cat.
there's no
He's
cat bus.
lying.
There is no
He's
cat
lying.
bus.
All
There
right.
is no cat
I've done Momotaro. I've done Sensoji with Skytree.
These are the
done,
official print parties from the Asakusa shop.
Right.
So in the years when I used to do them with little children, I made little
Right,
simple print sets.
right.
And in the early days, for example, the first Kickstarter campaign, there was 10 print parties, the initial print parties.
Oh.
And I hadn't carved anything else yet, so we used the cat bus for those. And I thought when
Okay.
you came to Ome, you might have done that, but I don't know.
No. When I was in Ome, you didn't do anything. I was just taking up your
Well,
time.
those blocks aren't here, so I can't do anything.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's
I want to do the koi anyway. So
Okay, signing off. For me, it's, what is it? It's, I don't know, day.
Today's Thursday, so you'll be
So
back
next
Saturday.
stream will be Saturday morning with
Probably
the
with
camera
William.
outside. Yeah, I guess with William.
Yeah.
If he wants to hang out and do this, yes.
Yep.
So.
right.
Okay.
Hi everyone. Bye everyone.
See you later.